The hearts of millions of music fans were shaken when news spread that Ozzy Osbourne, the legendary rock icon, was facing his most difficult days. Yet the final words he chose to share, especially those tender moments with his wife Sharon, touched people everywhere and revealed a side of him that many never truly saw. Sharon Osbourne, his partner of 50 years, has now opened up about those powerful words Ozzy spoke to her. Were they a heartfelt tribute or something more? A personal message only she could truly understand. Stay with us as we explore this untold story. Before we get started, have you ever heard about Ozzy Osbourne's final words? If you believe family love means everything, drop a 1 in the comments or a 0 if you see it differently. Enjoy the video and make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss more heartfelt and unforgettable stories. In a deeply emotional and private interview, Sharon Osbourne spoke about the powerful final words her husband, Ozzy Osbourne, once shared with her. The story, revealed from their home in Buckinghamshire, touched the hearts of millions of fans around the world. Sharon opened up about those last intimate moments, and the words themselves not only gave new insight into who Ozzy truly is, but also left a lasting impression on everyone who has loved and followed him throughout his legendary career. With a mix of sorrow and peace in her heart, Sharon reflected on the final conversation she shared with Ozzy. She explained, "People have often asked me about Ozzy's last words, but I hesitated to speak about them because they felt so personal, so sacred. But I've come to realize they weren't just meant for me. They were for everyone who has ever loved him." Her openness was raw and deeply moving, allowing listeners to feel the weight of that moment, not only for Sharon herself, but for all the fans who have cherished Ozzy's journey and legacy. On July 22, 2025, it was just Sharon and Ozzy in the room they had shared for so many years. That morning, as soft sunlight poured through the window, Ozzy, who had been unresponsive for nearly 24 hours, suddenly opened his eyes. His strong, alert presence caught Sharon completely by surprise. "He opened his eyes and looked straight at me, which truly startled me," Sharon recalled. For so long, Parkinson's disease had made it difficult for him to speak or even focus. But in that moment, he seemed fully present, and there was only one final message he needed to share. Over the next 20 minutes, Sharon shared an emotionally charged exchange with Ozzy. He took my hand and said, "Sharon, come closer. I need to tell you something important." For Sharon, it became what she described as the most beautiful expression of love she had ever experienced. The room around them seemed alive with memories, their wedding photos, family portraits, and countless moments from a lifetime together, creating the perfect backdrop for a final conversation filled with profound meaning. Ozzy's final words were far more than a farewell. They were a powerful reaffirmation of the unbreakable love he shared with Sharon. In that moment, Sharon felt the immeasurable strength of a bond that had carried them through decades of challenges and triumphs. What he spoke wasn't simply about closure. It became a lasting symbol of their enduring love, a love untouched by time and unshaken by circumstance. The morning light spilled across the family photos, capturing the faces that had stood the test of time. Sharon and Ozzy, once young and wildly in love, had built a life rich with memories and quiet family moments. Those memories became forever etched into the extraordinary journey they shared together. As Sharon reflected, it felt as though their entire life was watching over them. And in Ozzy's final moments, he seemed to draw his strength from those cherished memories of love. That morning, when Ozzy opened his eyes, the first words he spoke were nothing like what Sharon expected. Rather than expressing fear or sadness about the end, Ozzy spoke with gratitude and wonder for the life they had built together. "Sharon, do you realize what we've done? Do you understand the miracle we've created together?" Sharon recalled, her voice trembling with emotion as she remembered that powerful moment. Ozzy didn't speak about his career or the fame that followed him. Instead, his words centered on family, love, and the beautiful life they had built together despite the chaos and challenges along the way. For Sharon, it was clear that the most important things in their lives were love and family, treasures that could never be measured by money or fame. Touched by his words, Sharon invited listeners to hit the like button if they, too, could feel the sincerity and deep love woven into every part of this story. Then Ozzy paused to reflect on the very beginning of their relationship, marveling at how their love had not only endured, but grown stronger over more than 4 decades together. "When I first met you, I was just a broken man, only pretending to know what it meant to be one," Ozzy confessed. He admitted that in those early days, he didn't truly understand how to love someone or build a life with another person. Yet even then, he saw something in Sharon, something she herself had not yet realized. "And I love you so much that you became the man you always dreamed of," Ozzy continued, his voice growing weaker, yet still filled with strength. Sharon was astonished by the conviction behind his words. Though illness had taken its toll, every sentence felt deliberate, thoughts he had clearly carried with him in those final weeks. He remembered exactly what I was wearing the first time we met. He remembered the song playing in the background and the moment he realized his life would change forever, Sharon revealed, her voice heavy with emotion. Finally, Ozzy said, "Sharon, when you walked into my world, everything became possible. Before I met you, I only knew how to survive. After meeting you, I finally learned how to live." His words carried not only a deep love, but also a profound gratitude for the life they had created together. The conversation grew even more emotional as Ozzy reflected on the many layers of their relationship. He openly acknowledged the darker chapters of the past, including his struggle with addiction that nearly tore them apart, but also honored the triumphs they had shared. "I was so lost in my own pain that I didn't see how much I had hurt you," Ozzy admitted. His words carried the weight of an apology, but also served as a powerful reaffirmation of the love Sharon had given him, standing by his side through every trial they had endured. Sharon revealed that in the final moments of their conversation, Ozzy reflected on the hardest chapters of his life. "Sharon, I know there were times when you should have walked away, when anyone else would have left, but you stayed. You fought for us, and you believed in our love even when I couldn't believe in myself." Those words left Sharon holding back tears, a powerful testament to the resilience and unwavering strength of the love she carried for Ozzy, despite every challenge they had endured. Ozzy went on to open up about the darkest days of his life, especially the years when his addiction nearly tore everything apart. "I spent so many years believing I didn't deserve love, that my childhood had convinced me I was unworthy of happiness," Ozzy admitted. Sharon explained that those painful years had left lasting scars on his heart, but in speaking those words, Ozzy also came to recognize that true love has the power to heal, and that it can be stronger than any hardship. What surprised Sharon most was when Ozzy spoke about their relationship and the role she had played in his life. He told me that every good thing that happened after we met was really an accomplishment of both of us, not just him, Sharon shared. Ozzy explained that from the moment they came together in 1979, every success, whether in his career or his personal life, was tied to her unwavering support. People think of me as a solo artist, but the truth is, everything I've accomplished is because of our partnership, Ozzy told her, leaving a lasting reminder of just how deeply Sharon's presence shaped both his music and his life. Ozzy went on to reflect on Sharon's influence throughout his music career, explaining that every album he created after they came together was stronger because of her guidance and encouragement. Songs like Mama, I'm Coming Home, and Close My Eyes Forever would never have existed without your influence, Ozzy admitted. He emphasized that Sharon was the one who helped him open up, embrace authenticity, and allow vulnerability to shine through his music. The conversation slowly grew more philosophical as Ozzy shared his deepest reflections on love and mortality. Sharon, you chose to love me every single day for 43 years, even when I wasn't easy to love, even when I made life difficult, even when walking away might have been simpler, Ozzy confessed. His words carried a profound sense of gratitude for Sharon, who had chosen him again and again through every challenge life placed in their path. In the end, Ozzy revealed a powerful truth he had come to understand in his final months. Love isn't just an emotion. It's a choice you have to make every day. His words reflected a deep realization that love is not only about feeling, but about commitment, a conscious decision renewed daily. Sharon listened with tears in her eyes, knowing that despite every challenge they had endured, it was their daily choice to love one another that had carried them through and helped them overcome every obstacle. Sharon recalled the moment Ozzy told her, "Meeting you was the moment my life truly began." Those words moved her deeply as they made her realize that Ozzy's world, with all its success and fame, didn't truly start until he met her. "Before I met you, everything felt like a performance, like I was just playing a role," Sharon shared. For Ozzy, loving Sharon and building a family with her marked the first time he had truly lived as himself, a realization that reshaped their entire relationship in a way Sharon had never imagined. Ozzy helped Sharon understand that she was far more than his wife and manager. She was the person who helped him discover his truest self, beneath all the personas and public images. He told me that the Ozzy Osbourne the world saw wasn't really the Prince of Darkness or the wild rock and roll figure. The real man was the one who loved you, who wanted to be a good husband and father, the man who found his greatest joy in the simple moments of being with the people he cared about most, Sharon recalled. A powerful moment in their conversation came when Ozzy expressed his profound gratitude for the way Sharon had protected him and their family through the years, often at great personal cost. "Sharon, you've been my shield and my sword for decades. You protected me from the worst of my own impulses. You fought battles I didn't even realize were happening, and you sacrificed pieces of yourself just to keep our family together," Ozzy said, his eyes brimming with tears as he acknowledged the countless ways Sharon had stood by him and their family. Sharon recalled how Ozzy spoke about the many times she put his needs, and the family's, above her own. He mentioned the moments when you turned down opportunities to advance your own career just to focus on the family, and the times you endured criticism that was really meant for him, Sharon shared. Ozzy then told her, "Now I understand it all, Sharon. I see everything you sacrificed for us, and I want you to know that none of it was ever in vain or unappreciated." In that moment, Sharon realized Ozzy had come to a deeper understanding of her sacrifices, something she had never truly believed he would fully grasp. Yet the most heartbreaking moment of their conversation came when Ozzy began to speak about his regrets. "I wish I had been more present in the beautiful moments we shared. I wish I had been the husband you deserved every single day, instead of only on the days I was happy," Ozzy confessed. Sharon felt her heart break as she listened, knowing these were not just words of sorrow, but a sincere expression of regret for the times he couldn't give his best during the hardest chapters of their life together. Though Ozzy carried regrets about not always being present during the most important moments, Sharon understood that their love, through sadness and struggle, had always remained strong and unshakable. His final words were not simply a goodbye, but a heartfelt tribute to Sharon, the woman who had stood by his side and helped him weather every challenge and hardship throughout their life together. Before we go on, have you ever felt the true power of love during life's toughest moments? If you believe love can overcome any challenge, drop a 1 in the comments. If you see it differently, share your thoughts with a 0. Now let's continue and dive deeper into Ozzy's final words for Sharon, a love that has stood unshaken through every challenge. Sharon revealed that their talk about regrets led Ozzy to recall specific memories of when he felt he had failed her as a husband. He remembered their wedding day in 1995, when he was so drunk he passed out during their dinner. He also spoke about times he couldn't stand by Sharon during crucial moments, like in 2003 when she faced cancer, because he was too consumed by his own battles. "Those moments haunt me, Sharon, not because they were public embarrassments, but because they were the times when the person I loved most needed me, and I couldn't be there for her," Ozzy admitted. The conversation eventually turned toward the future, as Ozzy opened up about his hopes for Sharon after he was gone. He urged her to keep living fully. "Sharon, promise me you won't stop living when I die. You're only 72, and you still have so much life ahead of you. I want you to travel, laugh, create new memories, and maybe even fall in love again. If that's what makes you happy." Sharon admitted this was the hardest part of their talk, because she couldn't imagine ever loving anyone other than Ozzy. Sharon replied that she could never love anyone else, that Ozzy was the only man she had ever desired and always would. But then Ozzy said something she would never forget. "Sharon, our love is big enough to include whatever comes next. If one day loving someone else helps you heal and brings you joy, then that's what I want for you. Our love doesn't end when I die, it only changes form." Those words revealed Ozzy's deeper understanding of love, showing that true love is not about possession, but about compassion and the selfless wish for the one you love to find happiness, even if it isn't with you. "He told me he loved me enough to want me to be happy, even if that happiness didn't include him," Sharon shared. Ozzy then added, "The greatest gift I can leave you is the freedom to live fully after I'm gone, to find joy wherever it appears, and to embrace any love that comes into your life." For Sharon, these words felt like his final piece of advice, a reminder that their love would never truly end, but would simply transform into something new. The conversation continued as Ozzy reflected on the memories he cherished most from their life together. He spoke about their wedding day, the births of their children, and the quiet Sunday mornings when they would simply lie in bed and talk. But he also treasured the smaller everyday moments, like Sharon bringing him tea when he was sick, the evenings spent watching movies together, and their long talks while walking through the garden. For Ozzy, it was these simple, ordinary moments that held the greatest value in his life. One memory that stood out deeply for Ozzy was a quiet evening in 2010 when Sharon found him sitting alone in their garden. He had been overwhelmed with anxiety about his health and career, but Sharon came to his side, offering comfort and becoming his greatest source of encouragement. "You've been my greatest source of strength throughout my life," Ozzy told her. In that moment, Sharon realized that no matter how much life changed, memories like these would remain in their hearts forever. Sharon recalled a tender memory Ozzy had shared when she sat beside him on a bench near the rose bush, simply holding his hand in silence. "He told me that in that moment he felt completely understood and accepted," Sharon said. Ozzy explained that her quiet presence calmed the storm in his mind more than any medication or therapy ever could. "That night, I realized what true love really is. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic declarations, but about being there for someone who is hurting," Ozzy reflected. The conversation continued as Ozzy expressed his deep gratitude for the way Sharon had guided him through his career and public image over the years. He believed that she had helped him rise into a global icon while still holding on to the grounded simplicity of a regular man. "You protected the core of who I am, a working-class guy from Birmingham who just loves music, while also helping me become something greater when it was needed," Ozzy explained. Ozzy reflected on fame and celebrity, offering a candid perspective on the entertainment industry. He had seen countless musicians lose themselves in their public personas, becoming mere caricatures of who they once were. "He credited me with helping him hold on to his humanity throughout his career, reminding him that being Ozzy Osbourne was something he did, not who he was," Sharon shared. Ozzy went on to say, "You never let me forget that, first and foremost, I am John Michael Osbourne, then a husband, father, and friend, and only after that, Ozzy Osbourne." The conversation grew even more emotional as Ozzy began to speak about their children and his hopes for their future. He said that watching them grow into strong, kind, and independent people was the greatest accomplishment of his life. "He told me that he knew he hadn't been a perfect father, but seeing Kelly, Jack, and Amy become such extraordinary adults made him believe that we must have done something right," Sharon recalled. Ozzy's reflections on fatherhood carried both pride and regret as he acknowledged the moments when illness or addiction had kept him from being fully present for his children. Ozzy reflected on the precious memories he held with each of their children. Sharon remembered Kelly's first steps, Jack's first guitar lesson, and Amy's high school graduation. Yet Ozzy didn't shy away from admitting the painful truth, that during some of the hardest times, he hadn't been as present as he wanted to be. "I'm not the father I hoped to be, but I pray I was the father they needed at the moments that mattered most," Ozzy shared, leaving behind a powerful reminder of his deep love and unwavering commitment to his family. Sharon shared that Ozzy spoke about the legacy he hoped to leave behind, not only as an artist, but as a man. He said he wanted people to remember him for more than just his music or the wild stories. What mattered most to him was being remembered for the love he gave to his family. He wanted to be remembered as someone who learned how to love deeply and to be loved in return, despite all his flaws and mistakes, Sharon revealed. These words reflected Ozzy's belief that love and family were the greatest legacy he could leave behind. The discussion about legacy also led Ozzy to share his hopes for how his music would be understood in the years to come. He wanted listeners to look beyond the shock value and theatrics, and instead recognize the real emotions and lived experiences that shaped his songs. His music was always about connection, Sharon explained. He wanted to reach those who felt isolated or misunderstood, to let them know they weren't alone. For Ozzy, this was the truest purpose of his music, not just as entertainment, but as a lifeline for those searching to feel seen, connected, and understood. Perhaps the most profound moment of their conversation came when Ozzy shared his thoughts on death and what he believed lay beyond. He told me he wasn't afraid of death because he had already experienced the greatest part of existence, unconditional love, Sharon recalled. Ozzy had made peace with the idea of leaving this world, confident that the love they shared would transcend everything. No matter what comes next, I will carry our love with me, and somehow, that love will continue to exist even after I'm gone, he said. Sharon explained that Ozzy believed the love they shared would transcend physical existence. Consciousness is greater than any body or brain, Ozzy said, as though he had come to accept that death was not an ending, but a transition. These spiritual reflections revealed that Ozzy had made peace with the idea of leaving this world, no longer afraid, but confident that love would continue on even after the body was gone. At the close of their conversation, Ozzy shared his wishes for his funeral, how he wanted to be remembered, and the songs he hoped would be played. But more importantly, he told me exactly what he wanted me to say to each of our children, to the band members, to his friends, Sharon revealed. Ozzy wanted to make sure that everyone who mattered to him would know just how deeply they had touched his life, and that the love and connection they shared would never be forgotten. Ozzy had carefully considered every detail, not only the logistics of his funeral, but also the emotional needs of those who would mourn him. Sharon explained that he didn't want his passing to be a source of pain, but an opportunity to bring people closer together. He wanted his death to unite people, not push them apart, Sharon shared. For him, it was meant to be a celebration of love and connection, not just a time of sorrow. Though inevitable, Ozzy's death would not end the love he carried for his family and friends. Instead, it would stand as a lasting reminder that love and connection will always endure. Sharon remembered the final words Ozzy spoke to her before he lost consciousness for the last time. "Sharon, thank you for giving me a life worth living. Thank you for loving me into becoming the man I always hoped I could be," Ozzy said, squeezing her hand with all the strength he had left. He went on, "Thank you for making every day of the past 43 years a gift." Then, with a faint smile, he added, "I'll be waiting for you on the other side, but don't rush to get there. Live every moment of the beautiful life we built together." These words were not simply a goodbye, but a final gift overflowing with love and gratitude. After speaking those words, Ozzy closed his eyes and seemed to drift into a peaceful sleep. Sharon remembered how his face showed complete contentment, as though he had said everything he needed to and was ready to let go. About an hour later, he took his final breath. Even in that moment, he still looked calm and at peace, Sharon shared. Ozzy's passing carried the same sense of tranquility that had filled their final conversation together. Sharon remembered holding Ozzy's hand as he passed. There was no struggle, no pain, no fear. He simply stopped breathing, and I could feel his soul leaving his body. But I didn't feel like he was gone. I felt as though he had transformed into something else, something that would always stay with me, she recalled. For Sharon, that moment reflected the peace and the enduring continuity of the love Ozzy had always carried for her. The impact of that final conversation on Sharon was both profound and transformative. Those last words were like a roadmap for how I want to live the rest of my life, she explained. Ozzy hadn't simply said goodbye. He had given Sharon one final gift, a way to see their entire relationship and her future through the lens of love and gratitude rather than loss and sorrow. Sharon shared that Ozzy's final words gave her a deeper understanding of their relationship. He helped me see that our love story isn't defined by the hardships or challenges we faced, she explained. It's defined by our commitment to one another, our willingness to grow and change together, and our ability to find joy and meaning in both the extraordinary and the everyday moments of our life together. One of the most moving parts of their conversation was Sharon's realization that Ozzy spent his final moments comforting and guiding her rather than seeking comfort for himself. I was deeply touched by how Ozzy used those last moments to think of me, my needs, my future, Sharon shared. Even as his strength faded, Ozzy's love never wavered. That was the true man he was, she said. These final acts of care revealed just how unconditional and powerful Ozzy's love for Sharon truly was. Sharon concluded her revelations with a special message Ozzy wanted her to share with his fans and the world. She explained that he wanted people to see that he was more than just a rock star or a wild man. He was, above all, a man who loved his family more than life itself. Love, sincerity, and devotion, though imperfect, were the greatest adventure of his life, lived every single day. He wanted people to know that all the fame, success, and excitement of his career meant nothing compared to the simple joy of loving and being loved by the people who mattered most to him, Sharon shared. Sharon concluded by saying that the moments she shared with Ozzy in his final days were a powerful reminder of the true importance of love and family. She encouraged listeners to take these words to heart, explaining that her decision to share such deeply personal memories was meant to remind us all that behind every famous figure is a human being, capable of deep love, vulnerability, and profound wisdom. The most important conversations we ever have are often the ones shared in the most private, vulnerable moments with those we love the most, Sharon said, reminding us of the true value of intimacy and genuine relationships. Her words are not only the story of a great love, but also a powerful testament to the strength of connection and family. What do you think about Ozzy's final message? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you too feel the power of love and family in this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more touching stories and untold truths. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.